No. Absolutely not. No. Hell no. 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 No.
I think that was straight edge. but yeah. No.
DMX. But
DMX. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the BNS podcast. Excuse me. I'm your lovely host, Brandon.
I'm Steven. And today we're going to be talking about no. We're not doing this no more. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about society's denial of change.
Yeah, no. Essentially, what that is. Yeah, denial of change, which I feel is something that is very prevalent in day-to-day now, specifically because of
Especially
social
after
media.
yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday was kind of crazy.
For all those watching, we yesterday they overturned Roe versus Wade,
Yeah.
which is nuts. That tells you that society hates change of any kind.
Yeah, that's very conservative.
Yeah.
Conservative way of thinking because,
Yeah.
lack of progression, I guess is what conserving is.
Yeah.
It's insane that we have to that. So before we even get into this conversation, donate to places that help women get across to other states that help them have abortions. It definitely does make a difference when you send the thing, safe sex is a big thing. Just,
Planned Parenthood is a big thing.
yeah, help women in whatever way you possibly can. If it's putting money into stuff that can help them get across borders, then I'd recommend throwing money into that because that's important.
Yeah.
Fight for women's rights.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, society's denial of change, and it's such a weird thing because I feel like a vast majority of the world, not the world, I'm gonna say like the states in general are like conservative. If not that, conservatives are definitely in more power than liberals are.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of progress forward.
Yeah.
Even though the world is changing on a day-to-day basis and everything needs to kind of be modified to accept that everything's changing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that you can stay so, I don't know, so close-minded to the idea that of all this stuff.
Yeah.
I
find it so weird because it's like the people who don't want to change also don't want to help with anything else.
Yeah, it's literally, yeah.
Yeah, like they don't want, like, ban abortions, but we're not helping you if you have a kid. So I'm like, then you're just you're making sure that somebody gets fucked over.
Yeah.
Like, that's your job. And it's like the one thing I don't understand is, like, why are you trying to make decisions for other people? Like, what right do you have to make a decision for somebody else and their body and their things and whatever? And that goes for everything too. It's like gay marriage. It's like, I don't know anything wrong with it. Like, I really don't. Like, in reality, I don't care for it. And not in a way like, oh, it shouldn't happen. I just don't care because it doesn't affect me whatsoever.
Right.
And it's like, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. That's your life, not mine. And so I don't know. I never understood, like, people wanting to control other people like that. I always found it, like, just stupid.
Yeah, it's definitely promoted way more in like the conservative areas for some reason, caring about what someone else does.
Yeah, or what they do and what they think.
Yeah, I don't know where that stems from. I think it does stem from religion.
Yeah.
And to some weird degree, I think it's like them trying to save other people to make themselves feel better about themselves or appear higher than others. Because I think that's a thing. I think majority of conservatives have like the superiority complex because of the fact that a lot of them tend to come from money already.
Yeah.
And a lot of them tend to be just essentially well off. And even the ones who aren't, who are living in like trailer parks and stuff like that, still feel like this.
But that could be because
right to
probably
claim.
they don't have good education, so they just believe whatever the
Whatever's
richer
on the
people,
media, yeah.
or the media, or whatever the rich people say, or the people around them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It might be in the trailer park, but if they're in the cities next to them is like all conservative, chances are they're gonna be conservative as well.
That is true. Or some of them are just grew up in a past that's no longer there.
Yeah.
It's weird. Life leaves past them completely, and they're just stuck in the past, never progressing forward and
That's why I'm
never
happy we're in New
adapting
York.
everything.
I'm so happy to live in New York.
Yeah, progressive state, good, good to be here for sure. And it's weird. It's so many degrees of like denial of change when it stems from. There's like there's this side, the political side of it.
Yeah.
There's the interpersonal side of it. And then there's I don't know, what would you consider social media? Would that also be interpersonal? Because you're interacting.
It can be
with the world.
interpersonal, but there's also just general technology. People are afraid of change in technology. Like, is life too convenient? What was that thing? Elon Musk trying to make his factories 100% automated and shit like that. And people were like, weigh against it and things like that. And I'm not saying it's
See,
good. I'm just saying that
yeah,
that's a change, and people and like people are afraid that technology is gonna like Skynet is gonna become a thing, and
yeah,
the
yeah.
Terminator is gonna kill us all and
Like,
all that stuff. So that's
it
like another
definitely could be, you know.
yeah
It's those are like valid things to be upset about, though, you know. The displacement of jobs
yeah
because we're moving too fast in tech, or we're moving past the boundaries of what we should be doing in tech.
yeah
Some might argue. And those are the things people should be upset about, you know. Automated stuff. Think of how many people would be like out of jobs because of that.
yeah
How many more people would have to go on like some kind of aid from the government? How much more the conservatives are going to complain that there's like all this shit going on. Meanwhile, they're probably the ones with factories too
yeah.
that have all these automated.
And they also have like multiple incomes from other things,
Yeah.
from other companies and shit. So
it's
you're
like
just
a big disconnect
yeah.
from like humanity. I think it is.
Yo, it's funny that you say that because I remembered, I forgot who it was, but they asked, I think it was Nancy Pelosi actually, now I think about it, or whatever. It was a politician, and they asked her, how much do you think a studio is? And she's like, $600 a month.
It's a big disconnect. Not only that, but they're all old.
Yeah.
Old people need to go. To
This
the
is what I said, like,
grave.
This is what I said. This is what I said like 2 or 3
Yeah,
episodes
yeah.
ago, where I was like, "Yo, this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's true. It's like old people are living too long,
Yeah.
and it's like now we're stuck with their ideas, and the younger population have no say. And even if we get a guy or a politician that like, let's say is on the younger end, chances are he won't make it to office. Or even then, it's like,
Yeah,
you know, there's more people who think this way versus that way, and it makes everything still difficult. So it's still
yeah.
an argument.
Because a lot of people have to realize a lot of these people in office were around during the time period where segregation was a thing.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, a lot of them.
And like literally, some of them were probably like for it.
Yeah.
Some of them were probably like deep into that, and they're like super okay with the idea.
Yeah.
Of that.
I think there's a senator that's been there for like 20 years or something like that. Like way
See,
too long.
it just doesn't make sense. It's something that has to constantly be rotated out. You can't have the same old people who are living in a different time period making laws. Now, the brain begins to degrade at some point. Once you hit a certain age, that you're not processing as much as you could. You're not open to things as much as you were.
Yeah.
And clearly, these people are not. Look at what the fuck they're doing.
Oh no, my
That's the
favorite one
truest denial of change.
of that. My favorite one is Joe Biden on the bike, and he walked. He was on a bike ride, and he
Yeah.
came up to a couple people, and then he fell over.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
so now
didn't
this is
see
real. Look up it's a video on YouTube. You can look up Joe Biden
that.
falling
Alright,
off
hold on,
bike.
Let me see that. That sounds fucking funny.
It's so it's like it's literally all over the news.
Bike video. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you see. You're gonna see he just rolls up, and then he just like falls
ad.
over.
Not paid ad. Let me. la.
So in the meantime, if you guys enjoy the BS show, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That stuff does help and go a long way. Don't forget to share with your friends and family. Maybe not your family because we say some dumb shit, but if you guys do it, it helps out a long way. We're over here watching the video of Joe Biden fall off a bike. You see?
Mr. President.
I mean, you know he has good security then
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
rolled up on him so fast.
That's fucking funny. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But
If you can't ride a bike, you can't be in office.
right.
That's not. I'm not saying that like Joe Biden sucks. That's not the point. The point is just like he's a little too old. The last guy was also too old.
A lot of people were too old.
All of them were too old.
They
Obama was
should-
like one of the younger ones.
Yeah. It's just. It's such a stressful fucking thing.
I don't care for politics anymore. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna get screwed no matter
Yeah,
what.
I just throw my money at whatever organizations help the most, but.
I don't even throw
fucking-
my money.
I know. Just because it
I don't have
definitely
any
does
money.
make the difference. Oh, I feel
I'm
that.
broke. Send us money. Send me money. Brandon has money. I don't.
Yeah. Not wrong.
He has ETH. I have none.
I have no youth, but but like I don't know. There's so many again degrees of this whole denial thing.
Yeah.
Denial of rights.
Yeah.
Some society denies people of rights so easily. It's crazy. The government denies so many people of just like average everyday things. How long did we have to fight for like gay rights?
Yeah.
For queer people to be legally allowed to marry other people, and then still have it overturned in some states. Like it doesn't matter for some states.
And like I said,
you
why
imagine?
does it even matter?
Yeah, it's not like you're in their fucking house watching them. You're not getting cucked.
Yeah.
You're at home with your wife that probably doesn't love you.
And they probably don't even know that you exist. They don't care for you.
Yeah, no, like it's this big thing, and I think that's a big part of denial in general.
Yeah.
It's being so involved in someone else's life when you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So you want to point and pick at like little things in their life that upset you, and then bring it to this bigger platform to say, you know, it shouldn't be like this. Before it wasn't like this, but now it's like this. But no,
So
it
how
should
do you
be.
feel about that? But on the smaller, now let's not political, but now on the interpersonal level, same exact thing. Of people like, for example, going on TikTok and voicing their opinion when it doesn't like even matter.
Again, it just doesn't make sense to me half the time. Again, it's just smaller scale, still the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's still denial of whatever, denial of rights, and now they're just marketing it to younger people, which I guess is how you continuously keep the cycle going, right?
Yeah.
You market it to younger people, they fall into the rabbit hole, they start getting those videos, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit, I'm conservative now. Also, I hate Spanish people.
Or no, I
that's
was
how
even
it
talking
goes.
about like those like even on TikTok, the people who have like too much opinion, and we talked about this before, where it's like they get upset for other people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They're just like, this is wrong because blah 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 blah, and
Yeah.
then the other people will show up and be like, we don't give a fuck, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny as shit, like
Yeah, I don't know. That's
because that's like another one, but it's like it's a different way of doing it, but it's the same
Mm.
thing that's happening where they're voicing their opinion, and then it's also they're saying it's for somebody else, but in reality, it's like their own.
that's like a
What's it called? It's like I don't want to name call, but like it's like the snowflake kind of shit that
Yeah.
that the older people would say, or like, you know, I'm like the people who just get easily offended.
I definitely get it. I get exactly what you're saying now.
But that's like almost the same
It's
thing.
one of those things where like again it's progression that I guess states a lot of things when they're fighting for other people's like thing
Yeah.
and they're voicing their opinions and why something is wrong, and then other people, it's like the equivalent of someone using the argument like, you know, I can say semi-racist thing about Spanish people because
I'm
I know a
Spanish.
Spanish person or I'm Spanish,
Yeah.
versus the idea of like a white person defending me because of it.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I find it funny doesn't mean it's correct.
Yeah.
It's just I find it funny because I grew up in this time period, but my mind progressed, and now I get when people get offended by that.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm a Spanish person making Spanish jokes, other Spanish people might be offended. I get that.
Yeah. But then I'm saying like those people that do get offended and then they go out of their way to make a whole video and like things to voice their opinion on that. Or like the cancel movement, cancel culture.
Cancel movement definitely is the biggest, one of the biggest denial of changes things.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like that,
Yeah.
that's what it was. I was trying to figure that
Oh,
out.
okay,
Cancel,
okay.
like that. That's what I'm saying. Like cancel
'Cause I
culture.
think
Like
that's different.
we're offended because you said some dumb shit like X years ago, and now they're voicing their opinion and they're trying to
yeah,
like.
that's
what I was
different.
trying to. Sorry, I'm sorry if I fucked
you're
everybody
good,
up.
you're
That's
good.
what I've been trying to talk about this whole time. Cancel culture.
You know, that's different. But that one, yeah, that one's the biggest one because it's essentially a witch hunt. I think that's actively looking at a person and trying to find like that one thing so you can tear them down because you see them that they're doing well.
Yeah.
And it's like no one should be that good, right? It's this like hate festering thing. I think cancel culture is like one of the worst things that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Because it's almost never used for the right people.
Yeah. They always
It's
go after
cra-
random people too.
They go after the most obscure, unimportant, no offense, unimportant people. Like they get canceled and it doesn't make a difference in anyone's life.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they get out of it. Maybe they fucking get off to it. It just doesn't make sense.
But that's
to
what I'm
me.
saying. But they're trying to control. They're failing, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trying to control the rhetoric, and they're trying to like change people and like force their ideas upon other people
It's
that
crazy.
even don't care.
It's crazy too because it's something, a majority of the time, something that happened like years and years ago.
Exactly.
To
That's
the point
another
where it's
thing.
like, how do you think people don't change on a day-to-day basis?
Except for Snoop Dogg, he literally went on air and he's like, "How do you feel about saying fuck them hoes back in
Yeah, yeah,
1990?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Still fuck them hoes." like,
Yeah. Oh, but he said fuck them hoes during that time, but now it's
Yeah.
different. See, but that's the
Yeah,
difference
yeah.
between it because he corrected himself. But during that time period, it was fuck them hoes.
yeah, and
But
he
now
but he
it's
stood his
different,
ground.
yeah.
He's like, "No, at that time, that's what I believed. I'm not changing it." And
That
now
makes
it's like-
sense to me. But again, like when people were saying racist shit during that time period,
Yeah.
a lot of people regret saying that on a day to day.
Yeah.
But cancel culture will take that. We'll go from 2022 to 2014, and it's like you said
Whatever.
the N word,
Yeah.
and I need you to apologize for this because I'm offended.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
It has nothing
Do you
to do
think
with
that
you.
they still say it? Do you think that they haven't like evolved from this? Do you, when a prisoner gets out of jail, do you look at them and go, get back in there?
Yeah.
Right? You don't fucking deny them of anything, do you? Because if you do, you're a horrible person. Because again, you got to realize that things aren't black and white like that. It's very, everything's gray, and people only pick and choose shit to fit their narrative.
Yeah.
And is there like an actual concrete, like objective point to what I'm saying? Possibly not, because everyone's gonna pick and choose out of what I'm saying right now. But the thing is that people change every day. Their life experiences make them change every day. The thoughts that you had at the beginning of today, as soon as you wake up, are gonna differ from the ones that you have right before you fall asleep. And then not only that, it gets even more complex because then you dream of things. And then it probably changes the whole narrative of your entire day.
Yeah.
How do you think that these things don't change you? And I understand you can argue that like conservatives don't have much thought in their like this process. It's essentially just wake up and hate,
Yeah.
right?
Or even just wake up and this is the way it is. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's going to be in the future.
And literally a majority of their life, they're surrounded by the same people that live like that.
Yeah.
Almost everyone conservative hangs out with other conservative people. That way they can continue this echo chamber that they have.
Yeah.
So no one can ever really point any flaws in their logic or anything of that sort. Meanwhile, in other states, countries, and stuff of that sort, jails, they get to interact with other people and kind of change the way that they interact with the world and think. Same thing for social media goes. Just because I posted something in 2012 doesn't mean I still hold true to this. It's not like I retweeted every single fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if a celebrity said something like that and before anyone even finds it, they just fucking retweet it by themselves and they're like, I still believe in this shit. I still believe in this shit. What are you going to do about it? Yeah.
Somebody's bound to.
And I don't know. It's really weird because it makes me think, like, how angelic are the people that are canceling other people's lives? Like, how much do they do this on a day-to-day basis? Do they do this in real life? Do they call out shit like that in real life?
And it's funny because it's like, oh, this person was canceled, but I'm like, but what does that mean? Are we taking them off? Like, and I think Soulja Boy was one of them, right? And it's like, but his music is still on Apple Music, so I don't understand how he was canceled.
Was he canceled?
I think he was.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, he's an easy target. But like, I'm gonna just Google quickly.
Yeah.
People who have been.
I guess Travis Scott would be considered one of them. Someone brought that up yesterday to where I was. I think it might have been my friend Gihan. But
Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey had like a bunch of like.
James Franco.
Yeah, he was texting underage women.
Marilyn Manson. Well, that one's easy.
I think he used to beat his wife and shit.
The baby.
Yeah, he like beats women and shit.
I'm trying to figure out who else. Chrissy Teigen? Really? The fuck has she done? I can't imagine her.
I don't know which.
Whatever. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon?
Matt
Didn't
Damon.
know that.
Louis C.K.
Oh, the Louis C.K. one.
Louis C.K. is, but he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, he did give a fuck because he was gone for a while. He wasn't doing anything for a while. He was going to the Comedy Cellar and like doing underground shows for a bit, but it wasn't like a lot. Until he did like that one stand-up.
Dave Chappelle.
Thing.
I think that was a failed cancellation though, right? Because he didn't do
it. Was weird
he if anything made money off of it.
Dave Chappelle's in like that weird spot where he can say stuff like that, and he has a majority like of people agreeing with him at his shows and stuff like that. But it's because he kind of always been like that.
Yeah.
Right. But he used that excuse. It's like, I had a trans friend. Yeah. Therefore, I can say stuff like that. And it's like.
But he's also like one who's like, he knows how to control the narrative very well. And he knows how to turn it into a joke easily. Yeah. Because he's always done that, even from the very beginning, from his TV show and everything. He's always been good at like just. He would take the shit and turn it back on you at the same time and make it into a joke at the same time. Like, he's very good with his words.
And then spin it into like a story.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially how he gets the crowd. Yeah. Which is like I remember that being like the biggest thing when that was on social media and shit. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was like, okay, he's a transphobe, he's a thing. And the more I saw it, the more I was just like, yeah, but look at all this like media attention you're getting. Yeah. You're like giving it to him. Yeah. You know, it's the equivalent of when people point out old racist things like, yeah, they'll give you like a I'm sorry I said that. Yeah. In 21. I'm sorry I said that in fucking 1987. Yeah. You know, well, I'm a different person now. And like, yeah, that's essentially it. What else could you do from that?
Yeah.
What can any of you guys on the keyboard really do from that? Like essentially, you do it. Now what?
Yeah.
What happens exactly? Do you write a letter, like a strongly worded letter?
No,
Do
they
you
just
send
go
it
on
to
Twitter and
yeah?
just hate.
Do you send it to the record label half the time? Because a lot of these are just musicians that they do it to.
Yeah.
Do you send it to the record label and be like, hey, this guy said that in
If
2001?
anything, who was it? It was Drake. Who's like, fuck, what is it? It's like whether you're talking good thing about him or a bad thing about him, you're still talking about him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's still making
it's
money off that.
attention, yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, you're giving them attention. If anything, you're helping them make more money if they know how to spin it well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle
And
knew
even
how to spin it
sometimes
well.
they don't know. They don't have to spin it well.
Yeah.
It's just the media attention because now some people who didn't know about him are like, "Whoa, I didn't know this guy
Yeah.
was cool like that," and then they'll go listen. Or some people that just kind of think the same way from 2014 to now.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, he used to say that. Nice. I'm gonna listen to the fuck out of this guy."
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like this weird area of like there is never any solution to cancel culture.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens.
Exactly.
Kevin Spacey's gonna do a movie again.
Yeah.
And it's like they forgave all of the past like sexual like things he's done.
Yeah. I love him in House of Cards.
And
I'll be very honest.
Yeah, right.
In House of
Everyone
Cards, it
does.
was fucking.
Everyone
amazing.
thought he was great, but then they found out what he's doing, and then it's kind of
Yeah.
like now it's
Or it's like
the
R.
whole-
Kelly. It's like people still love his music.
Yeah, I remember that. That shit was fucked up. I remember.
No, it is fucked
Oh
up.
no, like during the trials and everything, people
Yeah.
were like playing his music outside of the thing,
That's funny as shit.
and I was just like, "What the fuck, you guys? You guys are fucked up."
Yeah, I have friends that are like, "Yo, I still love his music, but I'm trying not to listen to it
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
this." And I'm like, "Okay, I respect that. That makes sense, but that's still funny as shit." Like,
It's like it's like one of those things. Like I won't ever put on any of his songs, but if it plays, I'll sing along.
yeah,
Like if someone else is playing, I'll sing along, and I'll be like, I'll feel bad about
it's
it.
kind of
but-
hard to avoid it.
Yeah, because I don't know.
And even then, I feel like it's only temporary. Like because people
Yeah.
forget and move on. Like you said, Kevin Spacey's not going to be in a new movie and things like that. So.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a new movie.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, immediately caught heat, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are casting him as if we forgot about thing," and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about it?
Re-cancel him.
Yeah,
Will
like-
Smith also got canceled for the Oscar thing,
Yeah,
but that's not going to
he
stop him from
quit
making
the
movies.
Academy. Yeah, the thing I remember that. He said that was such an interesting thing.
Well, he was gonna quit. He knew the moment that he was gonna go up on stage and
Yeah,
slap him, he was
yeah.
gonna have to quit regardless. So even before cancel culture got to him,
That was very like interesting.
that was funny.
I don't even think cancel culture even came from him.
No, they did.
I don't think it. You know what? It was a mixture of like I feel like he was getting a lot more positive stuff from it
Yeah,
about him defending his wife
Yeah.
versus him actually getting like he assaulted someone.
yeah,
I don't think anyone cared about the assault as much as like they made it seem. I feel like everyone was spinning the narrative to like, no, he made fun of his wife, and he went up to slap him, and he told him multiple times to not do that. And I was just reading it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. It's still assault,
yeah,
and it's assault on like a grander scale. You did it on national television. A lot of people watch that. It's like one of the more embarrassing things you could do.
yeah,
But then as soon as I said that, I'm like, yeah, but he made fun of her alopecia, which is equivalent of the same thing. You're making fun of her diet, like whatever.
yeah. For
The
condition.
disease, yeah. And then still think so. I'm like, equally embarrassing, but one person didn't get assaulted. So it's like, you know, very thing. But yeah, no, cancel culture didn't do anything there.
Yeah,
I think it was Will Smith taking the blame and going, I'm just going to quit the Academy.
yeah. But he took it in
And
his
thing.
own hands.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't know. Cancel culture doesn't help. Politics don't help.
It doesn't.
Everybody's stuck in their ways, and they don't wanna bend their mind, or I don't know.
They don't want to change. And I think it stems from a little bit of like being scared of everything. Being
Yeah.
scared of changing is probably one of the more like understandable things that probably a lot of people can relate to. It's
Yeah.
scary to change. It's terrifying to break out of like the kind of mold you set for yourself, and also the mold society has kind of put on you.
Yeah,
Like we were talking about the whole mask thing. Like we have a mask for our family, and I'm assuming that mask has a special mold it's supposed to fit into that we're supposed to fall into. Like what if my parents wanted me to finish college? If my parents wanted anything like that, we have like this mold, and it's a scary thing to break out of expectations.
yeah,
And maybe that's why a lot of people never do it, but they judge the people who have,
yeah,
and then go, "You should not be like that. That should not be a thing." And then try to get people to slowly get back into that mold by changing the world around them by whether any political means,
yeah.
Twitter mob means.
Do you think there's any way to, I wouldn't say enforce, but kind of make people more open-minded to change? Like that's gonna be so hard.
Conversation.
And that's one thing that people don't do anymore.
Yeah.
They don't conversate. They just argue. You're just wrong.
I feel like we always have to bring that up because that is like the biggest
Yeah,
deal.
it's like you're wrong. You're not right. I am right. You're wrong. That's the end of the story. Like there's no like.
it's no discussion.
Yeah,
And
no go.
no, you.
I was gonna be like you're just. I was gonna say it's like one of those things where it's like they don't. Nobody debates anymore, and like nobody wants to listen to the other side, or they do listen, but they select all the bad points, and then at some point they just give up, and they're just like, no, you just suck, and that's why you're wrong.
Yeah, it's a lack of patience that people have, and the thing is, I like it makes sense why a person has a lack of patience arguing with someone that doesn't have their basic human rights at interest. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Like imagine going up to someone and they're like, I hate gay people, and you as a gay person have to go up and try to change their mind about it and make them see you as a person, not as like a commodity, not as a fucking like weird thing.
Yeah.
It's disheartening already. It's already like 50% of your energy is trying to walk up to this person and like seeing how they react to it in general.
Yeah.
And it's scary. So I think that's why conversation is even more important, right? Because you shouldn't be scared to approach someone for being you.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, because a lot of people are so prone to violence. Like a lot of people are quick to violence, and I think that also eliminates an aspect of conversation, because when people approach other people, it's always like this sense of like, fuck, what if they do something? You can't see people as regular calm people anymore because you never really know. A lot of people react to this shit so extremely,
right off
just
the
like
bat.
straight to violence.
Yeah,
like,
and they don't even think about it. They just go right
like
to
this
it.
whole Asian hate thing.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah, I forgot about
Asian
that.
people just getting pushed onto the trains out of just sheer like,
Just racism.
just sheer racism.
Yeah.
Like just because.
Just because they're
It
there.
makes no sense.
I know.
Bro, I wish I was patrolling the subway myself all the time. Like, I fucking...
You're gonna save the Asian guy and kick over the other guy. Like that. This is a better trade.
It's so fucking upsetting how many people are dying in the subway. Not only that, students are getting pushed in subway. Mothers, sisters, fucking...
And it's just so stupid.
It's a lot of
There's,
women,
like, no
too, that are
reason.
getting attacked, too,
Yeah.
continuously. So
Well,
it's...
women, like for not us, but like a lot of Southerners and certain people areas, women is still a commodity.
Yeah. They're
not, but like I'm saying that they're viewed as such in those
They're
areas.
still viewed as property.
Yeah.
More than anything, as opposed to people. And again, like this whole thing is a step backwards into that idea.
Yeah. Fuck it, let's just move to like what, Sweden?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Every place has their dirt. But fuck,
Netherlands. Iceland. Iceland only has about one murder a year.
Okay, Iceland sounds pretty good. Actually. Like, yeah, it's such thing. I don't know. How do you feel about that whole situation? Like when everyone being prone to violence,
I don't know.
Like, should we inherently be scared of talking to people?
No,
right? It's not a.
I've been telling you this. It's like for me, it's like I treat things like how me and Anna treat our relationship, where it's like we sit and we listen to other people, and then we wait till they're done.
Yeah.
Think about what we're about to say, and think about the points that they made, and then rebuttal, like an actual court case or a debate.
Yeah,
like we think about it, we say back, okay, let me get this straight. Your idea is this, and the third. But I think that in a difference like this, and this, but I find the similarity this, and this at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out where the lack of like, I guess communication or the lack of thought really is, because I feel like a conversation is so simple. Like I don't understand why it's getting lost, and I don't understand like why is it like not happening. And it's just and it's like it reminds me of movies. Because, like, in movies, there's so many movies that could have ended in 5 minutes if the guy or the girl or this person just said something like, no, I just don't want to because I just, you know, like, whatever. Any rom-com, you know, whenever the bad scene happens, it's like the guy did something dumb and the wife finds out or the girl finds out. And they're like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
If you just said, listen, I did it because I was scared or I did it because of this, the whole movie would end right there.
Yeah.
But it's like, but they don't say that.
Yeah,
and then
true.
it's like the rest of the movie continues. And it's a movie, so it's like fine. But then that's turned into reality.
It's like, yeah, no, it really has.
Yeah, and then that's what kind of fucks me up because it's just like, come on, guys. Like, this isn't a movie, and just saying a simple sentence sometimes can cure so much disease.
A lot. It can bring like a bigger understanding of stuff. You know what? It's just how emotionally charged these conversations are.
Yeah. But just take a deep breath and think about it for a minute.
I mean, it's
and then
easy.
it'll be,
It's easy to say.
I
but,
know,
like, to
I know, but that's what I'm
do-
saying. It kind of
Yeah,
like that's what
yeah.
makes me mad though. It's like it's easy to
'Cause
say,
it's-
but I feel like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
also easy to do if you just
Yeah.
stop for like 2 seconds and just think about it for like a second.
Mm.
Even a split second of a thought can change everything. But if you just quick with it,
Yeah, yeah. If you're quick to react with
then
emotion,
you've
it's
already
like,
A,
damn.
you've lost a conversation, and
Yeah.
B, you've lost your point, and now you just seem like an asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like even that split second of a thought, that hesitation just to say what you're about to say might actually
Make
help
the
you.
difference.
Yeah, and it does make a difference. You know, sometimes it's just that little bit of hesitation, be like, oh wait, let me think about this, or like, oh wait, he might actually be right, or like, oh wait, you know, and you know what's the thing? It happens on both sides. I'll be honest, because it's like conservatives and liberals, but both of them are just arguing too. It's like conservatives are arguing for this, and whatever. They're arguing, you know, abortion's bad and whatever. Liberals are saying there's nothing bad about abortions, but they're saying the same thing, but they're not explaining it anymore. Like we know the explanations and we kind of like know the
Yeah.
ideas, but they're just like, this is bad. No, this is not bad. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I don't hear
You know
anything
what's
else.
a big part of it? I think that plays in that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have gotten lazy with explaining stuff.
Yeah.
Because when people do get into arguments, a lot of the time, the main thing you hear is, "You should do your own research. I shouldn't have to educate you on this." And I guess that's the thing, right? If you say that, a lot of people aren't going to go do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are lazy, and
But
that's
there's
just
also
what it is.
misinformation, and
There
that's
is
what makes it
misinformation,
dangerous
absolutely.
too.
There is. And again, a lot of it could be molded because of emotions and stuff like that. But again, the thing is, saying you should go learn about it yourself
Yeah,
isn't a valid thing to say,
and
because
you're not helping.
if a person comes up to you about a certain thing and they want to learn more about it, take it as like a time to actually educate someone, because
Yeah.
that can make the biggest difference. Not only that, but you're building an interpersonal thing, leaving a good mark on something.
Yeah.
And granted, it's not your job to do so, but the idea that you can do it and flip someone over to the side and just have them hear you out is a big deal, because not
Yeah.
a lot of people do that.
And that's a conversation. That's a debate.
That's a conversation. Someone came up to you and approached, but you saying, do your own research. I shouldn't have to fucking educate you in this, and being like aggressive towards them because they asked,
Yeah.
because they're not informed, isn't a fucking thing. Like, it's not like we yell at kids. Granted, yeah, adults are adults, and you might feel different about this, but it's kind of the equivalent. You have to take it like that. When someone doesn't know a thing, treat it as if you're teaching a kid about it, because
Yeah.
they're not informed.
It's one of those things where it's like,
That's the first experience they get in that situation. Can you imagine that? Like being, hey, can you teach me? I don't know anything about this. I don't have to be the one to inform you. Learn about it yourself. And now they have like this negative perception that like, okay, well, aggressive, one.
yeah,
And two, I got to learn about this myself. And now there's so much fucking like media. There's so much shit being pushed.
and like
you
I said,
get,
and there's
direct things.
misinformation
There is
here
a
and
lot-
there.
ton of
So it's like maybe
misinformation.
that person's gonna, maybe even the initial person is already wrong
Yeah.
because they already have the misinformation, or now the other person's gonna form a different idea
Yeah, yeah.
because they learned the misinformation. So that's another like
Yeah.
huge problem.
Yeah. It's crazy. What were you going to say though prior to?
I already forgot.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say like a big thing that also keeps people in this sense of denial from change is the whole echo chamber shit.
Yeah,
Echo
like
chamber,
Sophie right
like
now outside.
Sophie being in the echo chamber. But the whole echo chamber, it's like a lot of people just say yes to shit just to agree with a person. There's
Yeah.
no more room for critique. There's no room for any of that, because people take it to offense so easily. So
Like that's what happens with our NFTs sometimes.
yeah.
Like
It's- it turns
I
into
see
a
some,
yes
and I'm
group.
just like, I don't get it. Like I'm also not a big person on it.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I'm one of those people that like, yo, I see something and I'm just like, I really don't like that. But it's like, but then like, you know, half of Twitter would say like, oh, this is amazing.
This
and I'd
is
just be
the
like,
greatest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
yeah. And I'm just like,
And it's like, I have
No.
been seeing this shit since forever. I think you only care about it since it's the first one on the blockchain.
yeah.
And I think
And
that's
I'm just
a
like,
lot
it's
of it
getting,
is.
it's starting to get, some projects are starting to get lazy.
They're like old and
or
tired.
they've been lazy.
Yeah. They just, I don't know. Again, it's dangerous being in an echo chamber because it stops you from moving forward as a person
Yeah.
and as a society. Can you imagine being surrounded by yes men all the fucking time?
Yeah.
It-
But then
it-
does that mean that like that person can't accept critique, or is everybody just trying to be in the group?
You know, it could be a mixture of both. I do think echo chambers start from like a good place at first, a majority of the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't necessarily want to hurt the person's feelings.
Yeah.
Again, because it's hard to hurt a person's feelings, especially when you're trying to get to know them and shit. So it starts off something good, and then more people begin to join. Now everyone's like, no, this is great.
Yeah.
And because more people join, it elevates this group to like a bigger thing.
Yeah.
And it turns into, again, this whole like, yes, 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 yes. That's the greatest shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. Oh my God. And then it's like there's no critique, there's no nothing. And then nobody changes. The only people that have changed are the people that went from not being in there to getting in that group to saying yes all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not a proper way to do it, because it creates this big divide and thing. Because I know at some point all the group gets together and they discuss stuff that they don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But they'll never tell the person.
But then, like, that's the thing that I was saying earlier. It's just one of those things where it's like, like, does a person, like, does that mean like the main person can't accept critique? You know, like that's one thing. It's like, and
I guess that.
I was gonna say this, like, and this goes back a little bit to what I said before. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, fuck, I already lost my mind because you keep cutting me off. Not kidding.
Yeah, my bad.
No, I was gonna say it's like the person can't accept critique, and then okay, now I remember. And it's like I said before. It's like with the conversation. It's like if you word something differently, it's gonna make a difference. You know.
Yeah.
So like the idea is like if you could say things like, "No, this is bad."
Yeah.
You know, that's one way of saying it. Or like, hey, how about you? And we've had this conversation, just like a few of us together in person, where like, I'm like, it's different by saying like, yo, this is bad versus like, hey, maybe if you make these few little tweaks, it might be like, you know, a little bit different, and more people might more people might see it in a different light.
Yeah.
And like you're saying the same thing actually, but you're just wording it in such a way that you don't come off standoffish or like argumental about it. You're just like, I'm trying to help you. I want you to be better, but you know what you have now, I don't really like.
Yeah.
You know,
because there's criticism, and then there's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing, right?
Yeah, but everybody thinks that everything is criticism. Even constructive criticism is criticism, and I'm just like, I get it at work, and they're like, you need to change this, and this, and I take it as constructive because it's like, I know these people are cool, but like, you know, work is work, and this is something that I have to separate from my life, which is another thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And to a point that you just brought up, the idea that criticism in general, I feel, is something that keeps people in this state of not wanting to change.
Yeah.
Because then it pushes the mindset of like, well, fuck you, I'm me, I'll do what I want. I think it's great. And then it's like, okay, well,
yeah.
Then why the fuck you ask?
Or they're afraid of being criticized, so they double down and stand their ground.
Like even before anyone says anything, they'll just double down. They'll just be like, oh, this is my work, I'm the best at what I do, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. No one fucking cares, dude. Like, yeah, you can always say you're the best at what you do, but, you know, it is what it is. You're going to get critiques on it.
Yeah.
Why be scared of it? Anytime you post anything on the internet, you're going to get critiqued for it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to change with the flow of things, but just read some shit about it. You know, read about what other people think about your artwork. You don't have to change it for sure. But you can definitely open up your mindset as to why some people view it a certain way and some people don't.
Yeah, and then there's also, you know, everything in the world is subjective. There is, what's the philosophy? There is no objective truth.
Yeah.
And so it's like anything that you believe in, it's because you choose to, or like that's just a thought that you have. That doesn't mean that everybody has the same thought. And then, like in art, it's like you might find this piece or this, you know, work of art. Let's say, for example, because it's here for people to see. We have a picture behind us with like fruits and stuff, but it's like for you might be like, yo, this is actually really nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is amazing. I like the coloring.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and you have your ideas for it, but I'm gonna say I don't really like it because I don't like fruit.
Yeah,
you know
it really like it stems from so many things.
Yeah, and that's just subjective though. That's not saying that the painting is bad or the painting is good. It's just you see it in one way and I see it in another way, and it's like, yeah. True. But then I'm guessing, like you said, it's like I'm afraid to get criticized, so I'm gonna just join you and be like, yeah, the painting is pretty nice, and inside I'm just like, yo, this painting sucks.
Like, what do you mean you don't like fruit? And then it just turns into like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Shout out to one Cuban who doesn't like veggies. I love you, man. I'm just spending that out there.
But like, man.
Don't worry, that's just Sophie the corgi.
Hey, Sophie. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's such a big topic that splits up into so many tiny pieces.
Yeah.
And how do you feel like we can correct this aside from?
That's what I was asking you earlier because I have no idea. Like I said, I feel
like outside of conversation. What else do you think could possibly help this?
Nuke the world and start from scratch.
Like, just make us cockroaches. Everyone's a bug.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's such a difficult. It's such a difficult thing to fix, but it has an easy answer at the same time. Like I said, it's just all we have to do is conversate and just listen for a second, think, and then rebuttal. Like that's it. And it's like I'm not conservative, but I do like some of my random thoughts are a little conservative, you know. But it's like, what's a big topic that I don't give a fuck about? Gun control. It's like, you know, I'm okay with people having guns, as long as you're not just as long as you don't aim it at other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As long as you're responsible, it doesn't.
As long as you're responsible, but that's a conservative thought because
yeah.
liberals are going to say the other side. They're going to be like, you know,
it's a danger to have in the house.
yeah, and it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's
but like
super
I understand
reasonable.
both sides of the conversation. I'm like, I'm okay with both. I could live in a state with either one, and I'm going to feel fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel weird about it. You know,
I agree.
but it's like, but I'm not. I wouldn't call myself as conservative because I believe in gay rights. I believe in abortion should be illegal and shouldn't even be a conversation. I believe in all the other stuff, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like you don't have to pick a side.
Yeah.
You could just learn about both and pick and make your own idea of it, you know? And it's like I said, it's easy. The answer is very easy. It's just people choose not to do it or people don't remember that they can do that.
Yeah. People see it as too black and white.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's it's one of those
sad.
things where it's hard. You know, I don't know if there is an answer for this until like, you know, we wipe out half the world, like Thanos this shit, and then restart from that half, then it'll be fine.
Like, just build it up again.
Yeah, because not everything liberal or progressive is that good either, you know?
Right.
Some of it is like, trying to think, there's a few things where I'm just like, all right, this is a little too much for what it is, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
No, yeah, I've been drawing a lot of blanks too.
Yeah.
It's weird. I feel like before we even turned on the camera, I was like, okay, I think I got an idea.
Yeah, I had an idea about certain things I wanted to say, but it's like I said, it's like conservatives have this shit, but liberals also have like some shit that is just like way too out of left field, and I'm just like, all right, we need to tone. Like, I understand the idea, but we need to tone that down quite a bit. I think it was an electric car thing. I think it's like as funny as it sounds, or no, that's not even a liberal thing. Never mind. No. Yeah, no, it's like California wants to turn all of California cars into all electric by like 2030 or some shit like that.
Valid, I could see that.
Yeah, but then I feel like that's like gas is bad. I'm not saying it's good, but I feel like that's just too much because there's so many problems with electricity now. I can only imagine like how bad you're gonna fuck yourself over later. It's like I understand the idea and it makes sense. I'm just not on board with it.
Definitely greener for sure.
Oh, it would be greener.
I think that's what everyone's fighting for now. The whole global warming thing.
Yeah, which is fine. You know, like, I agree with that too. Yeah. But it's like some ideas are just a little too
extreme.
I mean, that's one of them.
Yeah. I think the idea of getting more electric vehicles out there is important. I'm very for the idea of. Like,
but then it's like,
a lot of people are traditionalists. They like the idea of using gas.
Yeah, I mean, I like gas. I like old vintage cars. Yeah.
So
but it's like, I was gonna say, but for the batteries, it's lithium.
Yeah.
And lithium mines are actually extremely dangerous and actually do a lot of damage to the world. And so, you know, it's like you're going to lose.
Because kids are mining those.
Yeah, that too. But I was going to be like, you're going to lose somewhere at some point in this conversation. So it's like, you know, it's like you got to take some stuff and, you know, but you have to understand that when you take this argument that there are bad points with it. And that's another thing where it's like people don't want to take. They want to stand for the argument, but they're not going to take shit of their own argument.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this is a real factual bad point. It's not real. Don't worry about that. Listen, I'm still right. Fuck you.
Ignore that part.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, no, I'm very like, I get the whole drawbacks of the lithium thing, but I don't know, just the idea of electric cars more out there, and I assume that they only get better from here. It's kind of like.
Yeah, no. I want one. Don't get it wrong. I want a Rivian. I want the pickup truck for no fucking reason. You know. Yeah. So it's like, and it's $100,000, man. That shit's expensive. Like, I want one. I don't have the money for it.
Dude, just put it on credit.
But that's another thing. It's like they're also super expensive. Yeah. And they're still expensive at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and the cheaper ones are cheaper build, so it's not even worth getting.
Exactly. Them. Yeah. So that's another thing. I'm just like, you're forcing people to spend more money too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a good idea. Is just, I feel like you're shortening the time for it too much, and it should be like a 15-year kind of thing instead of an under 10-year thing. Yeah. So it's like, you know, if you stretch it out to like 2040, I think it would be like
that would make the more sense because I feel like we would have better tech.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like I understand the idea, but it's a little too fast
Too
or too
rushed.
radical or too rushed for like what it should be.
Yeah, yeah. No,
You know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense for sure.
So, no, but yeah, so that's like what I'm saying. But it's like that's a conversation. I could take my bad points but like try to make my point better
Yeah.
using my bad points. But nobody does that on any level.
Yeah, that's true.
So
And
it's
that,
like
it's a lost
yeah,
art.
solving the problem is super easy. It's
Yeah.
super duper easy. It's just we need to have people actually do it. You know.
Have to have people just shut up. Like if everyone just shut the fuck up for a little bit and
Shut the
talked.
fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. It's literally just sit down,
Yeah.
look at the other person in the eyes romantically, and maybe kiss them. You don't have to, but just stare at them and talk. Just introduce yourselves and learn that there's more than the physical appearance.
Yeah.
Right? They're not. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's something that people throw around very easily,
Yeah.
but they never actually apply it to anything.
Yeah.
You know, they'll say it. They'll be like, "That guy with a tattoo thought he was an asshole. Thought he would be a bad guy."
Yeah.
Don't judge a book by its cover. But it's like, why do you use it for such surface level things?
Yeah.
Right? Why don't you use it whenever you see like a black person or a Spanish person? Why don't you ever go, "Don't judge a book by its cover"? No, you go, "Fuck that person." Fuck that person.
He's
man.
probably from the ghetto.
Yeah, it's like you immediately. It's always extremes.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of trained to believe in extremes sometimes. Like
Yeah.
a lot of us are trained to believe just no gradually working your way into something. It's either you fucking believe in it.
Yeah. Or you don't.
Yeah, because it's not like this whole abortion thing. It's not like they're going, I can see
Yeah.
because of my religion, I assume that conception.
But then
is
if
where
it's your
life
religion, that
begins.
just means that people of your religion won't do it. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that the other religions can't, or the people who aren't religious shouldn't.
Exactly. It's also like, oh, as soon as you say, yeah, my religion, and it's like, yeah, separate that shit from state, dog. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that the whole
supposed to be
point of this?
separated.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a separate thing.
Yeah, and even then, everybody has a different religion. Why is yours like
Why
taking
is
over the other?
Christianity the fucking the one on the pedestal?
Yeah.
The worst one. What are you gonna do? Hit me? But arguably the one that has caused like the most divide in a lot of these places because it puts a lot of these people in like this self-righteous position.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're not doing anything to help anyone. Like you mentioned earlier, how many of these people are going out and helping these babies?
Yeah.
Right? Babies are going to be born. Like, there's going to be, I think we're going to live through another time period where people are going to leave babies on doorsteps. Like, I'm convinced that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because that used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't afford to have these babies. There's no baby formula on the shelves.
Yeah. Or
What are
either
you-
that or the birth rate. What was it? The birth rate dropped, right?
I think so.
Well, probably might go up now.
Yeah, I think that's a big
But then
reason
the
why they
other
did
the
that.
other thing is now that like women may have illegal abortions, and now
Yes.
so more women are gonna die or
Yeah.
like risk their life.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
I like I said, I feel like this is so dumb. Like the conversation, this kind of conversation shouldn't be a conversation because it's like for us, it has. I feel like we're guys, we don't have a choice in it.
Yeah.
Like we could have a say in it if it's our significant other.
Yeah, and I guess
And that's a
when
conversation that you have to have with your
Yeah.
significant other. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like I feel like it's so dumb. Like
Yeah.
we shouldn't be talking about this, and it shouldn't be controlled on a political level. It should be on a personal level. If a woman chooses to do it,
so be it.
so
yeah.
be it.
It's yeah, no, you're 100% right. It really should just be at an interpersonal level. And it should be left to just that. I feel Sophie's
Yeah.
like nose.
I see her just like underneath her chair, and she's laying down. Yeah, no, it's like gay rights shouldn't be shouldn't even be a topic, and abortion shouldn't even be a topic. Women's rights should not be a topic. And
Yeah.
I'm saying like because these are things that are interpersonal and have nothing to do with whoever is in the higher end.
Yeah.
And like I don't think these have to be political things.
They really don't.
Yeah. Like a gun control, that is political, and I could see,
That being
that's
an issue,
those kind
yeah.
of issues, fine. Like because that is for and the point of the government is for the safety and conservation of the society, and so it's like everything, like all the other arguments, it's like that's not safety of society. You're not destroying society because gay marriage is legal, you know.
Yeah.
But if you say everybody can have a gun, you're affecting the safety of everybody. because it can't fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, because like that's one of the things that does affect people.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So it's like there's like some conversations up there shouldn't even be happening.
Truth, very much true. What a weird thing that we've based our entire way of living in the U.S. on like this old ass piece of paper.
Dude, that paper doesn't even say half this shit.
Dude,
That's where I'm confused. I'm
the
like,
Constitution is so fucking weird.
it doesn't even say half of the stuff.
I believe it.
Where does it say anything about gay marriage? Where does it say anything about abortion? Where does it say anything about like religion? It says that we're supposed to separate religion and state.
And then religion played by its own rules.
And then religion, and you know what's funny? It's like, oh yeah, separation of religion and state. But if you look on the back of the $1 bill, it says "In God We Trust."
Mm-hmm. Literally, all of our money says "In God We Trust," and yeah, that's an issue I've always had with thing. Like, it's one thing to say separation of church and state.
Yeah.
But I guess because of how strong the ideals stem from Christianity and religion in general, it's hard to separate them because now we would have to call out a whole religion. And I guess people aren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting because I guess whenever the Constitution was written, we were living in a very different America, right, Sophie?
Yeah, good luck trying to get that shit from her now.
But like we lived in a very different America, and a lot of the things that they wrote for that time period don't apply anymore. Like to some degree, but
yeah,
it's really changed so much, dude.
Yeah,
10 years changes.
If I was
so
there,
much.
if I was in that room, I'd be like, yo, we should probably have a thing in there that's like it's updated every like 25 years.
Yeah, something. Yeah, because
I feel like every 25 years, everybody's mind changes. It's less than that, but I feel like 25 is a good mark to rewrite the whole Constitution because there's like it'll be significant.
There's like the biggest changes happen in like 10 years, so I can only.
In current days is like every 6 months.
Yeah, you're right. That is crazy.
Yeah.
We literally, in that span of like 2 years, we went through a whole pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And now everything's very different.
That was like a forced change.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did very well because of it.
And a lot of people did very shit because of it.
Oh yeah, a lot of people
like they denied the shit out of that so hard.
And
like
so
Florida
many people died from it.
Yeah, and it could have been easily. Well, I wouldn't say voided, but it could have been easily, or controlled.
Handled.
Yeah.
Controlled. It's.
And it's like, damn, dude! All you had to wear was a mask for 2 weeks, and we'd be out of this quicker. But no, you wanted to get your fucking hair done, and you didn't believe in COVID. But guess what? Now you're in the hospital, and you have COVID. Congratulations, you fucked yourself.
You know, it's crazy because I feel bad because a lot of these people were denying it so heavily. Like I knew some people who denied it.
Yeah.
And then their family members died, and they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's when it hit the gravity of the whole situation hit them, and it's like,
it's
that's the reality.
It's one of those things where it's like people don't change unless it actually like truly affects them.
Yeah, but they have like they'll go out of their way.
Yeah.
For every other thing, and it's.
I'm gonna show you this meme afterwards.
Okay.
Because Anna showed it to me, where it's like this daughter is like, it's like this daughter in an Italian family, and she goes up to her mom. She's like, "Mom, like, what would you do if like I told you I'm gay?" And she'd be like, "I don't care." And she's like, "Oh wow, that was like super underwhelming. Like I thought you would have a whole fit and stuff." She's like, "No, it's fine. Like it doesn't matter." And she's like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "No, I thought like something like this would be okay if like I said I was vegan." And her mom just goes like, "Fuck no, I already made, there's pasta on the stove right now. I'm cooking right now. And now you want to bring up the fact that you're vegan?" She's like, "Well, Mom, no, it's okay. I'm just saying." It's like, no, it's not okay. You don't understand. There's eggs in the pasta. You cannot have pasta if you are vegan. You cannot eat dinner." It's like, why didn't you tell me earlier?
Right. So, I like that.
It's like, it's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm gonna show you the full video later. Okay. But yeah, it's. I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore.
The conversation is just weird.
I'm like, cause it's. I've drawn so many blanks on this conversation.
I'm just thinking of I'm thinking of the women in Texas or Florida that wanted to get their hair done during COVID. They were like so depressed that they just didn't get their hair done, and I'm just like, you're not leaving your house. Who are you? Like, that's vain. That's so much vain. And I'm just like, God damn, like, it kind of fucks me up where like somebody
Yeah.
holds themselves so much higher, and I'm just like, you need to
That
calm
they had to
yourself.
infect other people.
Yeah,
for
and
it.
I'm like, you
That's
need to
crazy.
calm yourself down a little bit. It's like I don't think highly of myself. Like sometimes I do, but not really.
Right.
And it's like, but I'm willing to knock myself down a few notches to like remind myself I'm a human and
Yeah.
like everybody's equal.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the same level as everybody else. I'm not higher than anybody else. But there's those people that are just like so, they irk the shit out of me.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I just want to like go through the TV screen and just calm the fuck down.
Just flick their forehead until
Yeah.
it bleeds. Yeah, that's such a thing. I remember here in New York specifically, everyone was still playing ball like during the pandemic. Like it was really bad.
Yeah.
And people were just so they had to remove the hoops. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was fucking funny. But I was thinking like, bro, just stay inside for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like
That's
how
all
bad
you
is
have
it
to
gonna
do.
be? Yeah.
Yeah, like play games. I'm pretty sure you could do something at home. Work out at home.
Yeah.
And no.
Or do solo things. You could still run. You could
Yeah.
do running. You can like practice on your own.
Yeah, like we had a whole year
Yeah.
to just better ourselves, I guess, because there was nothing really you could do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just chose to sit down and go, I fucking hate
Yeah.
people that look different than me. And it's like, bro, that's what you got in a year of fucking sitting in your home?
Yeah.
No, I'm assuming the people who say that don't stay at home.
Yeah.
I'm assuming those are the people out, no mask, kissing people,
Yeah.
strangers.
Exactly. The whole weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's funny. It's like, because those are the same people that like want to change society for their view, but they don't want to. They don't want to do anything else.
That's it. And even when they do change it, they don't do anything after that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they go out of their way to do the thing they just changed. They forget about it. This whole abortion thing, it was an argument, it's done, and now they're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
What's going to be the next thing they say? Too many people are on welfare. Too many people are claiming government benefits for their dumb little kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, you did this.
Yeah.
Take accountability for the shit that you did.
That's what I said earlier. It's like, okay, fine, you're banning abortion, but now what are you gonna do to help the kids?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Are
now
you
want
in the foster care system, like, putting in the work to make sure these kids don't get in bad homes?
Yeah.
Are you adopting these babies? No, then, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
what? There is no place for you, and it's like a lot of these people are doing it for the sake of religion,
Or just for
Ju-
ego.
just for ego and to argue.
Yeah.
But it's like, why aren't you helping people? You are such a good, righteous, religious person. Like Joel Osteen, I think, is one of the people that piss me off the most in this
I don't
world.
know who that
He's the guy
is.
who owns that super church. The
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
that
talked about this
super
before.
millionaire guy who has like
Yeah.
mansion and shit.
And,
And
the
it's
jet
like-
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he got the jet for spreading the word of God. He got a private
Yeah.
jet. I was like,
And it's just like, can you imagine having that super church and doing this all for God and not helping the poor?
yeah.
Like when what was it, during a hurricane, I think, or a tornado?
Yeah.
Homeless people were trying to get into the church, like, because they needed a place to stay. And he just locked the doors. And I think it got so bad that the government was like, if you're going to operate like this and not as a church, and you're putting donations toward campaigns that are, like, against gay rights and stuff like that,
Yeah.
then we're going to treat you like a business.
Yeah.
So immediately doors flew open. My children of God, get in here. And it's just crazy
Yeah.
how tone deaf the whole situation is. Why does no one call that out? Why doesn't anyone say anything against that? Because they're anti-poor too, I guess.
They're anti everything.
Anti anything.
If you're not rich, white, and 6 foot tall,
Yeah.
you're not part of the crowd.
Yeah. Which is weird because I think being rich is what turns you white.
Yeah.
Once you hit a certain amount in your bank account, you essentially,
Unless you're a rapper.
unless you're a rapper, then you get stigmatized into like that one
Yeah.
mold where it has to be
Well,
you're a bad
J.
person.
Cole said it. It's like it's either if you just you're either gonna be black and poor, or if you're black and rich. But once you're black and rich, you're just like that. You're immediately stereotyped into just this one type of person.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, that's such a weird stigma too, because I feel like what's funny. It's like so many rich people have so much money that none of them know what to do with their money, and I'm just like, if you have no idea what to do with your money, you might as well just donate it if that's how much money you have.
Yeah.
You're gonna die eventually. It's like
True.
if you're like listen, for me it's like if I own one like good size house, nothing too stupidly big, and I'm able to afford my food, afford my car, and like even have just like a little bit of fun with it, the rest of the money should go to like donations and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. And
'Cause they're
besides,
not gonna spend it in this lifetime,
exactly.
and neither are their kids or their kids' kids or
Yeah,
kids'
and it's
kids.
like then you have that little bit of savings on the
Yeah.
side too. It's like when once you get too much savings and you're just like, you know what, I can buy 6 houses sixfold. You know, maybe I could. Jeff Bezos' wife is a great example. She started
Yeah.
giving away that money. She's like, this is like too much for me. Immediately,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was crazy. That was like the first time I ever saw someone do that. Like,
yeah,
and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money to throw into stuff,
yeah.
which is awesome. I
Yeah.
thought that was the coolest shit I've ever seen.
And so
someone do.
imagine if that's the money that she had. Imagine the money that he has.
Yeah.
Because he has
Oh
to have
my
like
God,
10
yeah.
times that amount, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why do you have a boat? Why do you have a private jet for like what? It's like, oh, I'm a businessman. I'm like, what business are you doing in fucking Morocco? It's true.
Yeah, like you're just chilling. He's probably on his laptop,
Yeah.
chilling, doing
Watching YouTube.
yeah
Yeah.
for business. It's a write off.
Yeah. But it's
Going
like,
to
I'm saying,
Morocco's
it's like, you don't
rough.
need 16 houses. What do you need 16 houses
No,
for?
yeah.
Dude, and if anything, it's even better. It's cheaper and better if you just rent the penthouse of whatever place you're going to be staying at. And then you could switch it up so that way you don't always have the same exact
Yeah, you don't
view
get
and
tied
stuff.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's still a write off.
Yeah, for business sake. As long as you bring
Exactly.
your laptop, you're good.
Yeah.
I never thought of that way. Yeah, like when you bring your laptop around when you're doing like online business, you could just say that it's a write off.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I operate my business.
There you go.
It's great.
Get them now, IRS.
Yeah, right. No, it goes towards my taxes. I save all my receipts when I'm driving my car because I have to drive to my locations and shoots.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when I go to the store and buy a shirt, it's because I'm gonna do a fashion photo shoot with myself. And so,
Okay,
and
valid.
people never see those photos, you know.
Oh, those are for you.
No, those are only
You
for
hang them in your room. You stare at
Exactly.
'em.
Yeah, this shirt was actually buttoned down to here earlier, and like. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No.
hot. Good, nice. Hell yeah, hot boy summer. That's what I'm talking
Hot
about.
boy summer. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of this. It's some of it shouldn't even be a conversation, and the other half is more like if you just stop for a minute and think and listen, and then rebuttal and take the good points and the bad points on
Yeah.
both sides. I think life will be so much easier.
Absolutely, I agree. Importance of conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our podcasts emphasize that.
Yeah.
The idea that you should be able to converse because of how important it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I strongly recommend you guys just talk
Yeah.
to people.
Learn how to talk to people,
Yeah.
conversate, like as we said, don't jump. Like if you have a conclusion, that's fine, but at least lead the other person to that conclusion. Don't expect them to jump with you. That's
Yeah.
really like one of the things. It's like, just because you have this idea doesn't mean everybody else is on board with that idea. And if somebody's like iffy on it, just explain to them the whole thought process. And as you said, like teach them the information that you could help out. You can help them out, and and it's a debate. At the end of the day, a conversation is a debate, and you can flip them to your side. And if you don't, help those people, then you're just flipping them away from your side. And guess what? Now you just made a new enemy, and you could have just easily made them one of your friends.
Yeah. Literally.
That's it. It's that simple. Like, listen, think about it. Don't be afraid of your bad points, and if anything, try to make your bad points into good points one way or another. And that's all you need to do. And that's how you could solve all of life's problems, except for finance. You are fucked there, buddy, because I am too.
I agree. Me too.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah, I think that was a good way to end it off. You summed it up beautifully.
So until next time, thank you for watching the BS show.
Yeah, have a good morning, good night. Yep.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Reverse what I just said there. You guys will understand. Yep.
Okay.
That's all, folks.
Bye, guys.